So many beautiful faces this morning. So grateful for you all being a part of our service, of our service. Our service. God is the air we breathe. God is everything that we are. We want to start off our service this morning by first acknowledging that by singing, "This is the air I breathe." When I think about air, I just think about breathing God in, breathing in His presence, breathing in the breath of life that God has given each and every last one of us. This is the air I breathe. This is the air I breathe. Your holy word. Your holy word. Spoken to me. This is the air I breathe. This is the air I breathe. Sing along with us, you know it. This is the air I breathe. This is the air I breathe. Your very presence. Your very presence. Living with me. Living with me. And I'm living for you. I'm living for you. I'm longing for you. Now the second verse goes a little bit like this. It says, "This is my daily bread. This is my daily bread. This is my daily bread. This is my daily bread." Your very word. Your very word. Living in me. Living in me. And I'm living for you. I'm longing for you. Let's sing that again. Let's sing I'm living for So we're gonna tell God, just pour yourself in me, pour yourself into my heart. Oh, wonderful Spirit, sing, pour yourself in me, pour yourself into my heart. Wonderful Spirit, pour your joy in me. Pour your joy into my heart. Wonderful, wonderful Spirit, pour your joy in me. Yeah, pour your joy into
Transformational relationship with God. And we do that by bringing our spiritual awakening into the world as love, kindness, and compassion in action. And we are a social media friendly spiritual center. So please, please, please post on Facebook, post on Instagram, send out carrier pigeons, whatever you want to do. Social carrier pigeons, not the introverted carrier pigeons, okay? We want them to be getting the message out. But if you are doing social media, we do ask that please just turn off the ringers on your phone and everything so that we can keep this a sacred place today. And if it's your first time here today, you may see that there are yes and cards strewn about here. Please fill one of those out so that we can get related to you and help you to get plugged into everything that we do here at Cityside. And why don't we say hello to each other? So please stand, say hello to your neighbors. And our icebreaker today is, do you prefer the beach or the pool?
Oh, my goodness.
Yes.
I prefer the pool. Okay.
Sacred space within our hearts, that space that is timeless, that space where I know that the one resides. And it is that one, that divine, that I recognize and know here and now as the one power, the one presence, the one life, the back of all of reality, all of creation. I call this thing God, and I know that it is so much more than just that name. I know that it is love, that it is life, that it is joy. And I know that I am one with it, just as each and every beautiful soul here today at Cityside is one with God. Each of us is that divine light shining brightly every single moment of our lives. We are love, we are life, we are joy. And I bless this service today knowing that there is an atmosphere of transformation that draws in each and every person here today, that allows every single person to hear exactly that which they most need and desire to hear. I speak a special blessing over the amazing Lucy Witt as she delivers our message today, knowing that she is an open and powerful channel through which God speaks.
Yes.
I know that she is brilliant, that she is divine, and that is good. And I speak a special blessing too over all the hearts and hands that came together today, saying yes to Cityside, saying yes to transforming and creating this place of transformation so that we may know God in a new and more profound way. For all of this, I am grateful. And with this gratitude, I let it be, and together we say, and so it is. Amen. So I invite you to stay in this sacred space as we begin our time of meditation. Begin to focus your attention upon your heart space. Imagine that your heart is a flower and that the warm spring sun is gently urging it to flower open. Allow its warmth, its compassion, allow its love to radiate out and fill you up. Flutter away. Breathe them out. And allow the love to have its way with you. To grow beyond yourself. Let it expand. Let it mingle with all of the love of your neighbors. And imagine it growing even larger, filling up this whole theater. The city of Chicago. Let it expand to fill the whole world with your love. come back. Come back to your body. Come back to this room. Maybe wiggle your hands, wiggle your toes. Feel what it feels like to sit in your chair. When you feel ready, go ahead and open your eyes and smile.
This morning. Good morning, Cityside. How are you? Amen. It's so good to be back after all this traveling. Today is the last day of a new beginning, right?
Yeah.
For Cityside, amen?
Yeah, amen.
I just give it up for this wonderful sister who has been carrying for us. Last 2 weeks. I was trying to take my job. But as we are beginning in this new chapter, it's just such a beautiful thing to know that each and every one of us carries something very special inside of us. That beauty, that joy, that purity of light that God has given to us to be.
I am
more time, tell yourself.
I am light. I am light.
Oh, yes, you are.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
Yes, you are.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Wow. I'll tell you, I'm going to talk about answering the call today.
Come on.
Yes.
And that is, yes, good. I'm an assistant minister in training. I am a third-year ministerial student at Agape International in LA, California. Yeah. Hi, Dr. Michael, if you're watching me, I know you are. And Ricky, hi, Ricky. So I'm having an incredible call, such as my ministry is allowing me to be here in Chicago. And I'm so fortunate that I get to be the last speaker because this is our last Sunday here.
Amen.
And it took a lot to get me here, believe me. So I'm gonna share a little bit today about, first of all, the call. What is it? Secondly, what's consciousness? We keep hearing that term. What is it? And I'm going to read you a brief statement about Harriet Tubman, who to me exemplified courage above and beyond what any human being should ever have to endure.
Wow.
But my story of my call is not as dramatic as hers, but it has the same intensity. Remember that your perception of the world is a reflection of your state of consciousness. That's Eckhart Tolle. Life is what consciousness makes it. The Science of Mind. Born a slave in Maryland, Harriet Tubman was told all her life that she was a piece of property and had no rights. When she was in her teens, her master sent her to the store. While there, an overseer saw her with another slave who had left the fields without permission, and he ordered Tubman to restrain him. She refused, and the overseer threw a 2-pound weight at the man, but hit Harriet instead, and it fractured her skull. Tubman was carried, bleeding and unconscious, to her master's house, where she lay for days without any medical attention. This injury caused her seizures all her life, as well as visions that she attributed to God. In 1849, Tubman and her 2 brothers escaped slavery and crossed the Mason-Dixon line to freedom. However, her brothers had second thoughts and decided to go back, and they forced Harriet to return with them. Tubman escaped again and worked odd jobs to save money to go back to rescue other family members. In all, she made 13 expeditions back to Maryland, and she guided more than 70 slaves to freedom. She also provided detailed instructions to more than 60 other slaves who escaped on their own. Tubman had a consciousness of freedom, despite being told otherwise from the day she was born. And this woman had the courage and commitment to defy the odds and change her world. It doesn't matter what they call you. It's what you answer to.
Amen.
It's what you answer to. Now, my story of my commitment and my courage, a little bit different. Started out in the Midwest, born in Indiana in a very small rural town. So I'm a Midwesterner by birth, and I'm back in my roots now. But I was born on a big farm. I grew up in an organic world because we grew all our own food. We slaughtered our animals, and we had tons of animals. I was always around cattle and sheep and dogs and cats and birds. And my grandmother lived with us, and we had a big garden, and it was a wonderful life. But I knew at some point that maybe farming wasn't for me, because it's a lot of hard work. So my dad soon quit the farming business and moved into the town of Marion and got a job with General Motors and then Dana Corporation. And he became a supervisor at Dana. And he had to do that because my parents wanted me to go to college. And I went to Ball State University in Muncie, Indiana, home of David Letterman. I worked with him in the radio station.
Yeah.
So that's my claim to fame. And he was a real jokester and a real pain in the you-know-what. And I said, because I was such a Susie co-ed, I went up to the head of the radio and TV department and I said, Mr. Tomlinson, I just don't like David Letterman. He puts fake dog barf on my seat and he does all kinds of practical jokes and he'll just never make anything of himself. Okay. I should have dated him, right?
Amen.
But we really didn't like each other all that much, although we tried to like each other at the last before he was, before we were both graduating in 1969. And today he gave a scholarship to Ball State. You can only qualify for it if you make a C average or below, because he was not an A student.
Wow.
So that's just a little bit of my background. Went to California. Got a job with a wonderful company called Cisco Systems. Big networking company, global. I didn't know anything about networking. I was so angry. My last job before I went to Cisco was with a large screen monitor manufacturer in the Silicon Valley, and I was one of the salespeople. And we were doing great until the computer manufacturers decided we can make our own big screen monitors. We don't need this company. So we were going bankrupt. So then our president said, you know what? We're going to get into video cards. And I said, huh? That happened 2 years ago. You can't do that. We'll go bankrupt. He did it anyway. They laid everybody off. I was so mad at God. I was freaking pissed. I went out to my car, I beat my dashboard, I cracked it. I said, okay, God, I'm sick and tired of this. I want a job that I'm going to stay at till I retire. I want a career. I want innovation. I want people around me that can teach me how to be a leader. I'm tired of this mediocre life. The next day, I got a call from my headhunter. He said, I got an interview for you with a company called Cisco. I said, what do they do? He said, networking. I said, what's that? He said, well, it's when computers talk to each other. I said, what? Okay, I'm in. I went there and I said, I might be able to do something here. I was watching everybody. They were pretty happy. A lot of busyness going on. I interviewed. And the guy I interviewed with said, well, how many calls did you take at your old job? I said, about 100. He goes, you took 100 calls a day? I said, yeah, I'm in sales. You got to. He said, wow, well, you'll be taking that many probably. We're going to put you on the phones. You're going to get calls from customers that have networking problems, and you're going to set up what's called a case, and then you're going to transfer it electronically to the engineering group, the TAC Assistance Center. I'm like, huh? Okay. But I caught on really fast, and I loved it. Because people would say, like, well, I'm having trouble with my dial-up, and I don't know what my IP address is. I'm like, what's an IP address? And every day I would go back to my manager and I go, okay, I got these questions. What's an IP address? What's protocol? What's net down? What does that mean? He started laughing. And he said, oh, Lucy, you're going to be a great engineer. You've got an engineer's mind, I can tell. You like to see how things work, don't you? I said, yeah, I do. Is that what engineers do? I didn't know. Because I started out as a teacher. And then here I come to California and get into networking. I don't know. But I kept learning. I kept growing. And finally, I got hired. And back in the day, Cisco was hiring. You only had to stay at temp 90 days, then you were hired. That was good, because it's not like that today. And so I began my career, and actually I didn't know what I was going to do. So I had to really create my own job. And I decided, well, wait, I've got this skill I've taught. You know, we're moving into self-service with customers on one of our ordering tools. Customers are going to be able to do their own RMAs, return material authorizations, which means they're going to get a new part from us, they're going to return the bad one back. And they have to put an order in to do that. And they have to be licensed and qualified and have a contract and all this stuff. So I thought, well, if we're moving into self-service, who's going to train these people? I am. And so all I did was tell my manager whenever a customer calls and they don't understand something and they don't, get it, what can I do to train them on how to do their own RMAs? He said, well, we'll just start funneling the calls to you. I said, great. Okay, that's what I did. And I started to build a rapport with all of our customers. And I still do that, although now I'm a senior manager, so I went up the chain because I wanted to be a leader. As I cracked my dashboard, remember, I want to be a leader, I want to be a leader. I got to be a leader. 10 years ago, my manager comes to me and says, I got an assignment for you. I said, what? He said, you're going to 5 countries. You're going to Brussels, England, Japan, Australia, and if we have time, Singapore. Okay, what am I going to do? You're going to bring up all of the new call centers that we're developing throughout the world. Oh. He said, are you ready for that? I said, I don't know. He said, well, you know, Lucy, let me remind you, when you came here, you said start funneling all the training calls to me. I want to do this. You put your word out. Here's your chance. Okay. I had to pray about that. I was a practitioner. I said, God, am I ready? Do I have the skills? Do I have the talent? Do I have the insight? Do I have the tenacity to do this and make it work? Because I'd never done this before. And I said, yes, and here's my plan. Manager looked at it and said, you're going to leave in 3 weeks? I said, yeah. So you'll be ready in 3 weeks? Yes. Wow. Okay. Good luck. Email me. Okay. So off I went to Japan. And I'd never been in Japan. I didn't speak Japanese. I didn't read Japanese. You know, and then I was going to Brussels. I don't speak Dutch. I don't speak Flemish. I speak a little bit of French, so I could get by, but not in Japan. So I was really nervous, you know, and I'd never met the Japan team. I talked to some of their people, but I didn't really know them. So I just went. And everything was very well marked. Got to the hotel. People were wonderful. I had a wonderful room with a beautiful view of a big square right in the middle of Tokyo. And I went to bed that night, and then I woke up in the morning, I pulled my drapes open, and it was snowing in Japan, which doesn't happen very much. And in the background, I saw Mount Fuji, and I was very excited. Thought, I got to get on a Gray Line tour. So I did. I got on a Gray Line, toured the city. You know, there's a river in Tokyo. You know, they have a replica of the Eiffel Tower. What? I was like, oh, this is wonderful. So I was there in Japan for 2 weeks. The second week, I went downstairs in the hotel for breakfast, and I saw this Japanese woman kind of roaming around. I said, konnichiwa, hello. She said, hello. I said, you speak English? Yes. Oh, great. I said, I bet you're confused. You don't know where they're serving breakfast, do you? She said, no, I don't. I see this arrow, and I said, and then it goes like nowhere, right? Follow me. I know. What they do at night, there's a Japanese restaurant here. They take down the signs, and they turn it into a breakfast buffet. So they completely redo the restaurant, take down the sign, but they don't say, here is the breakfast place, right? So you kind of have to find it, but I'm glad. I said, would you like to join me? She said, oh, that would be very nice, thank you. So we get a table, we start talking. I said, are you here by yourself? She said, no, my 2 sons are upstairs asleep. They're here to take their exams to get into high school. Because if they get into this high school, they get to go to college. Oh, wow, that's intense. Yes, it's very intense. She said, so have you done a lot of shopping or sightseeing? I said, done a lot of sightseeing, but shopping, not so much. I don't have time. I'm busy training my team. She said, are you looking for something in particular? I said, yes. When I was a little girl, I saw a picture of Marilyn Monroe being married to Joe DiMaggio. She was wearing this beautiful black cashmere sweater with a white rabbit or mink or something, ermine maybe, collar. But what really caught my eye were her Mikimoto pearls. A beautiful strand. And they absolutely highlighted her face. I could see that in the photograph. And I was enamored with those pearls. And I thought to myself, someday I'll have a strand of those pearls. And I know they're very expensive. And I was praying actually at the time, God, I know they're expensive. I won't be able to afford them, but that's okay. I can dream. I can dream of Marilyn and her pearls. And how happy I'll be. She said, you have very good taste. I said, thank you. And then something happened. She pulled out a business card. She pushed it across the table and I picked it up. It said Yuki in her last name, which I can't pronounce. Head buyer, Mikimoto Pearls. She said, turn over the card. There was something written in Japanese that I could not understand. She said, you go to the store in San Francisco and you pick out whatever you like. You pick out whatever you like. Now, I did not believe in God. I sure as heck did then. Because that could not have happened without a higher power leading me to that particular moment. I thanked her profusely, and she and I still correspond. And she would love me to come back to her house in Tokyo. Her sons are now very much into successful careers. And I realized in that moment, oh God, I'm a global citizen. I'm a global citizen. I can go anywhere in the world. I can proclaim what I want because I have faith, I have belief. Like Harriet Tubman, I was changing my reality. I was changing my world. And I was becoming the woman that I've always wanted to be. I was answering my call. But that wasn't all of it, because the call was bigger. It came in waves. It came in voices at 3 in the morning. And the voice was always the same. Lucy, serve, help other people, reach out. Lucy, serve, help other people, reach out. I said, okay, Spirit, okay, I hear you, but I don't know what that means. Maybe you have a similar thing going on in your life. You have a call. You're passionate about something, but you don't know what it is. And Spirit keeps pulling you in. Okay, so this went on for a couple of years. And then after my mother passed, because I was her caregiver for a long time, she had dementia, and I couldn't leave California. I couldn't go anywhere. Once she passed, I said to my husband, I'm going to apply for ministerial school at Agape. I probably won't get in. I don't have qualifications. I'm just a practitioner. Been a practitioner for 20-odd years. I have a really good depth of faith. I have passion about my belief, but I don't know. They're pretty strict, you know, and well, maybe I won't qualify, but I'm going to go ahead and do it anyway. I qualified. I got accepted. Again, don't let people call you something. It's what you answer to.
Amen.
I answered. I said, yes, I will go. I will go. And so that was a transformational moment in my life. And then, after I got in school, I kept saying to my husband, what am I going to do? Where am I going to go? Am I going to do my own ministry? Lucy, be quiet. Do you trust the process? He said, okay, you're a minister in training. Yeah, right, okay. Let's see. What if you start putting into your meditation, your spiritual practice, and your prayer, what if you start asking God, God, what is my next step? God, where am I going? What am I going to do? Who's going to want me on their ministerial team? Or who's going to want me to come in and take over a spiritual center? Or maybe I'm going to create a... God, what is the plan for my life? What is the plan for my life? And every day on my mama beads, 108 times, God is all there is. God is all there is. God is all there is. Lucy has a place. Lucy has a place. Lucy has a place. Kept saying that for 2 years. Never stopped. One day, I was at my spiritual center in Redwood City, California, and my cell phone rang. And the voice said, hi, this is Reverend Mark Anthony Lord. I went, oh, hi! Now, I'd only met Mark a couple of times. One time he came to San Jose to speak at the spiritual center I was in there, and Paul and I, my husband, were service coordinators for the service. So we took care of Mark, and, you know, we got him everything. We had a room all set up for him and everything. And this is what you do. This is the rundown on the service. This is how it works. And he was wonderful, delightful. And I thought, wow, there's a leader I could, wow, yeah. I had chills. I had chills. God bumps, I call them. So, in July, he called. He said, hi, how would you like to be a part of a new spiritual community, and how would you like to join the ministerial council? I said, where did you say? Chicago? You know, I got family there. I got a lot of family there. And my husband grew up there. Did you know that? He goes, no, wow, okay. I said, yes, I'll come. Thank you, Mark. And I hung up, and I thought, oh my God, what did I say? I said, yes, I didn't even ask my husband. I ran to Paul. Paul, come here. Guess what? Reverend Mark Anthony called me. He wants me to come to Chicago, be a part of the ministerial team. He's going to open a new community, October 15th. Paul goes, what? He said, I'm going to Chicago. I said, wow. My life changed in a minute. answering the call became a definite reality at that point. And I said, I'm ready. I called Dave Witt. He's sitting right here. He's my brother-in-law, or I call him my brother-in-love. And I said, Dave, I'm coming to Chicago, and I'm going to come and visit with you, and I'm going to see Mark Anthony, and this is what's happening. And Dave was like, what? Okay. And so it happened. And so now I'm here. My husband will come in June 1. Not far. It's taken us a good 6 months to get this all together, but, I have a wonderful family that supported me through this. I live with my brother in a beautiful home. I inherited a wonderful dog named Rosie. She's so sweet. And everything kept opening. Everything kept saying yes, and how about this? Yes, Lucy, and how about this? And of course with Cisco, we're such an innovative company now. All you have to do is say, hi Bobby, that's my manager. I'm moving to Chicago. I'll be there June 1. He's like, great. Okay, let me know when you're there. Bye. That's it. No paperwork, no anything. It's just like, I said, well, I'm going to be working out of the Rosemont office probably, 2 or 3 days a week, but I'll probably be working at home a lot too because my brother, he needs my help a lot. So he had just lost his wife of 55 years to boot, and that was huge. He's taught me so much about grief and mourning, and that was another part of answering the call. So all I want to say is that never, ever, ever disbelieve anything that happens in your life. Don't worry. There's a plan. There's a way. There's that voice inside that will keep you going. And if it gets tough, call me. I'll pray for you. I'll be there. Now, there's a couple of quotes that I had that I read to you. And so what is consciousness? Consciousness is only about being aware. It's about being aware of every moment that you're alive. You're being present. So when people say, well, I'm in my lower consciousness right now, I need to up level. That's when you go into meditation and prayer. Because when you awake from that, you are then in a very powerful state of mind. You can demonstrate things very quickly. You can understand what people are saying. You're watching behavior. You're watching your dog. You're watching your cat. You're watching your husband or whatever. You're looking at the world in a different way. Conscious living is all about being in the present moment with God. That's it. Simple. Search your mind. Reach out. Love. Serve. Help people. Reach out. Serve. Love. Help people. Know your voice. Trust yourself. And so with those words, today I answer the call to a higher consciousness. Let's pray. Again and again, God, we come to you in this moment, knowing that we are grateful. So grateful for these demonstrations of courage, power, passion, longing, yearning for God. Like our song says, I am light. I am light. And I shine that light in those dark corners. First of all, I shine it in myself so that I can let it go out into the world. Jesus called us to have faith, the faith of a child. Faith as small as a mustard seed. We may assume that it's only with enough faith that we can do the work that is ours to do. Today, I recognize that quite the opposite is true. By reaching out, extending love, and helping others in their human experience, my faith grows. Belief becomes very easy when I can clearly see the spiritual power that my actions create. choice that is not a blind faith, but a perceptive faith. I recognize the good I can create in the world, and I strengthen my faith through the actions I choose. Give it, and it shall be given to you. A good measure, pressed down, shaken together, running over, will be put into your lap. For the measure you give will be the measure you give back. So it is. Amen.
Let's give it up for the amazing Lucy Witt. Yeah, I'm so inspired by your story, and being a tech person too, I totally get it. That's so cool. That's so cool. So now is our time of offering here at Cityside, and why don't we all say our affirmation together? Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, all that I receive, and all that I am. And just know that the gifts that you give, they allow us to be here Sunday. They allow us to go out into the world. They allow us to expand this mission that we have to transform the relationship that people have with God. So we're so, so grateful for all that you have to give us. And also, for the live streamers, of course, you can text to give to 312-757-8111. You can also give online at www.cityside.church/donate. Thank you, Marsha, for reminding me that's how it's there. Multiplies in your life as well. And so I've got some announcements for us today. The first announcement is this is your last chance to sign up for Prosperity Plus that the amazing Amy Daniels, Reverend Amy Daniels, is leading. I'm also doing all the fun tech stuff with that. That is Wednesdays, May 2nd through July 11th, 7 to 9:30 p.m. You can also do this online over Zoom. We did that the first time just this last Wednesday. It was a huge success. Also want to thank Ted for hosting us in his wonderful, wonderful home, it's just brilliant. Thank you. And that's in the Old Irving Park neighborhood. So you can register for that at www.cityside.church. And what do we got next here? Patrick Ziegler's Artist Way class. You can still sign up for that. That is an 11-week class that will help you get to that creative genius that already resides within you. And I've taken that class, and it's a ton of fun. It really helped me open up my own creativity. So please sign up with that. He's doing that Mondays, May 14th, 6:30 to 9 p.m. And he's also doing it online starting May 15th. So you've got 2 different ways that you can do that if you like. And of course, this is our last service here at the IO Theater. So why don't we just give a round of applause for this place? It was sort of like the divine womb that birthed this new center. How cool is that?
Yes.
So we do not have service next weekend. However, we will be at the Maxwell Street Market because there's this wonderful street fair in our new neighborhood, and we would love to have some volunteers. And I guess the band is going to be there too.
Yeah. You gotta talk about that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, come on.
Hey, everybody.
Don't be shy.
I have to just, how y'all doing? First of all, I just have to say how excited I am for this new opportunity that we are embarking on with our new space in Logan Square. Now, I know many of you have had questions about this location. This is a partnership that was extended to Cityside, the band and the singers, to perform at this wonderful festival near UIC Pavilion. So it is not in the area in which our new space will be, but this is an opportunity for Cityside to get out in the city of Chicago and to spread the word and to bring people from all over and let them know who we are as a spiritual community, what we have to offer, and to make their way to Logan Square. So that means we need all of you to bring family, friends. You can bring your own food. There will be lots of food there. You can bring your own bubbles. Whatever it is that's going to loosen your spirits and have
lots of bubbles.
We want to see you there.
Lots of bubbles.
Lots of bubbles.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, okay, and please see Marsha outside. There is a pamphlet, so you don't have to worry about parking. We have instructions for everything on this wonderful flyer that Marsha put together for you. So if you're going to be at the street fair next weekend, please pick that up on your way out. There's plenty of parking. It'll be fabulous. Also, we do want some volunteers for this so that we can have people there representing Cityside. So please see the Yes And station if you're interested in volunteering.
All of it.
And then here is where our new space is going to be at the Elastic Arts Theater in 3429 West Diversey Ave, number 208, which is a mouthful, but it is perfect for us. And there's street neighborhood parking, of course, and that will be beginning Sunday, May 20th at 10:30 a.m. And we are going to be starting at 10:30 a.m., so please be there at 10:30 a.m. It would be great.
Amen.
Amen. All right, and I think that was it for my announcements.
All right, Cityside, let us just sing together as we close out here on May 6th, the IO Theater. Blessed always, Ricky Byers. Let our joy be so triumphant that as we rest in the presence of God, we just say, Amen. Here we go.